Okay, this next meditation, some of my friends have requested me to give a meditation instruction on how to deal with the negativities that are going on, not just in the world, but also the things that we deal with on a daily basis. And particularly people that are bringing us insult and injury. How do we deal with these kind of people? I mean, since those of us that are Buddhists, we're supposed to be meditating and developing compassion for all sentient beings. So that's not just the people that we love and the strangers on the street, but it's also the people that we would normally label enemy, the people that bring us negativity. How do you develop compassion for a mosquito that lands on you? How do you develop meditation for or compassion for a cobra that might sneak up here and hiss at me? But how do we develop the compassion for these people that we're protesting against and still maintain our resolve to make the world a better place? So it reminds me of a story. There was a man that came up to the Buddha and just started insulting him and hurling out all these insults. And the Buddha just sat very quietly until the man concluded. And the Buddha asked him, "May I ask you a question?" And the man said, "Yes." And the Buddha said, "If you brought a gift to somebody and that person did not accept the gift, to whom does the gift belong?" And the man thought for a moment and said, "Well, then I guess it still belongs to me." And the Buddha said, "Then you keep your insults. I don't own them. I don't own them." And I think that's a beautiful thing. It reminds me when we were a kid, we were taught on the playgrounds to say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me." And for some reason, the past few years, there's been this big movement of people saying, "Oh no, words are terrible, words are terrible." Yes, they're terrible. What you say, what comes out of your mouth, you're responsible for. But what somebody else says to you, you need to think they're responsible for that, and I don't own it. Our emotions, according to Candace Pert, who was the executive director or the assistant director for the National Institute of Mental Health, these opiate receptors we have in our brain, this is how we have an emotion. A chemical goes into these neural networks when you're having a perception, and it creates an emotion. And so if somebody named Tom, any Toms out there, I apologize, that if Tom walks into the room, or it comes into this area, and I don't like Tom, I start to have an emotion about Tom because I don't like him. And Tom did not do anything other than be there. He could have said something, but unless Tom reached into my brain and squeezed those chemicals into those neural networks, I'm responsible for the emotion I feel. And so that's very, very important that when you're dealing with somebody else who hurls accusations and insults and belittles you, you have to remember that your reaction is your choice. Your choice. And most of the times we have been habituated by never taking control of our emotions to just automatically have them. And so what I think about is I think about the person that I'm dealing with that's dealing with negativity and saying something to me. I look at that person as being infected with an illness. And so the person, if they had a cold, the moment I start to sneeze or cough, I know that I've caught it. But this person has negative thoughts, negative emotions. The moment I start to react back at them is the evidence that I've caught their disease. And we have to Teflon coat ourselves, and we have to be strong in order to help that person out of the misery that they're experiencing. There's a person that's a racist that you know, what they're dealing with is fear of the unknown. They more than likely, probably 99% sure, they have never met somebody of another race and developed a good connection. And when you can help them be freed of that fear, of that lack of knowledge, lack of experience, you're going to help free them of the disease of negative emotion and negative thoughts. So one meditation to do is to examine your own reaction. Start with a meditation, bringing somebody to mind. Really call to mind somebody that you really, really love. Okay, so we're going to start this guided meditation. Call to mind somebody that you love. Look at their face. Really, really strongly imagine their face and how you feel whenever you're near them. And how your own heartbeat changes, your breath changes. When you're in their presence, you feel so good and safe. Really try to see their eyes looking at you, smiling approvingly. Feel that emotion. coursing through your body. Quickly change the image of the person you're looking at to somebody, a total stranger, and try to maintain that feeling toward them. Try it. Back and forth with this idea in your own meditation at your own time. Because I'm limited with the post that I can do, I want to get on to talking a little bit more about how to protect yourself from the negativity. Okay, so you can do this meditation for a while and try to develop a sense of love. The Buddhist philosophy, love is the wish that others are happy. So you develop this wish for that other person to feel happiness and joy. And compassion is the wish that others be freed from suffering. So as you are looking at yourself in this situation with another person, let's say Tom comes around again, how do I defend myself from my own thoughts about Tom? I have to first of all analyze, is Tom that way inherently? Meaning, is Tom that way to everybody? Okay, so you could probably argue that he's that way to everybody. But he's got a mother who probably loves him. Maybe he's married. Not everybody has the same reaction to Tom. Not everybody has the same experience with Tom. So that should lessen it a little bit. Then look at Tom's emotions. Something about you and Tom's perception is causing Tom to be angry at you or to not like you. If you can realize that whatever you say that justifies Tom's anger is going to make Tom resolutely angry at you. He's going to stay firmly angry at you. So how can you change Tom's opinion? You have to remain soft. You have to remain gentle. And work with your own emotions. Tom's now an opportunity to practice patience. He's now an opportunity, or a teacher, to practice this gentleness, this compassion. So if Tom had an illness, like cancer, you wouldn't yell at Tom for having cancer. So why do we yell at Tom for having anger or hatred? We have to try to gently help Tom out of it. But more so, we have to help ourselves not be seduced by these negative emotions. So think of your mind as a brilliant blue sky. And all the thoughts that you have in it are clouds. And sometimes the clouds are white and they just flow through the air. And sometimes they're dark and they might rain on you. What we want to do in our meditation is we want to let all of the emotions go. Let all of the thoughts go. And remember, you can change your emotion at any time. While I'm here talking to you about this, I'm in a very good attitude. A cobra could come up out of nowhere and bite me. I'm suddenly not going to be as happy as I was prior to the bite. So we allow these external situations to trigger our emotion. And Candace Pert said, and Joe Dispenza in his book Evolve Your Brain have said, these emotions are chemicals. And my favorite line from Joe Dispenza's book is, if you cannot stop an emotion from happening while it's happening, you're addicted to the chemical creating the emotion. So if you can think about that, and every time you bring Tom to mind, you start to get a little negative, start to deconstruct your emotions. Start to deconstruct what is it about Tom that you've allowed yourself to be triggered into getting angry about. And can you see Tom as having this disease that you can help remove? So this exercise is called Tong Len, and I'm going to post it on another video. It's called Exchanging Self and Others. And I'll explain that in another video. That's a wonderful way to develop compassion for the other person. But right now, I want to do a simple guided meditation on clearing the clouds of your mind. So you take your position. Let's put our breath right here for about 3 rounds of breathing. And now just visualize inside that your mind is this vast blue sky, clear blue. And the thoughts and emotions that you're dealing with right now, just imagine all of them hanging in the sky as clouds. Thought arises, don't judge it, just place it there in the blue sky as a cloud. And when you can see your sky filled with the clouds that you're dealing with, I want you to call to mind this wish that everyone is happy, no one was suffering, and feel like you're responsible for clearing the clouds from the sky. So as your love starts to develop, imagine that it's a nice, gentle breeze, slowly moving the clouds out of the way. Each breath that comes, you exhale, the clouds disappear more and more. The better your imagination and visualization, the stronger it's going to be to your mind, to your brain, to release these thoughts and come back to this clear blue sky. So this is something you can do on your own, again with limited time due to the uploading limits. This is where we're going to finish right now. I'll put some more up as time allows.